This your boy HD. Everybody get up on the dance floor and go, and go, and go crazy, and go crazy, and go crazy, and go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy like a dum-dum. East side homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is O City. All the way to the bay, hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up your Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make you work it, work it, work it out. Turn the volume up loud. This a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Catch it all in the frenzy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA.
Hey, hey, hey. What's going on, family? What is going on? It is good 8:03 on this beautiful Tuesday, on this hot Tuesday here in Oklahoma City, y'all. It is hot, hot, okay? Like, we skipped right on over spring and went to scorch it because, yeah, it's hot. So, welcome. I hope you are somewhere comfortable and cool on this Tuesday evening. We are so glad that you have decided to slide on in this room and chill out with us this evening. I missed y'all last week. Missed y'all. Win. Appreciate you for taking care of your girl in my absence, and sorry to alarm those who checked on me. All of you who checked on me. There were many, many people who checked on me on last Tuesday, but I'm good. I'm good. It was much needed, and I'm good. So I apologize for the alarm, but we are back. We are at it. We are well, and we are rested and ready for a great, great show. If you are new here, welcome, and we would hope that you would be so kind to go ahead and introduce yourself, get comfortable, because you are among good peeps here at the scoop. Okay, so you can feel real good. We're going ahead and dropping your city and state in the comments section. That's how we get acquainted around these parts. We like to know where everyone is repping from when they come into the room and join the conversation. So if you would please do that for us. Just your city and state is all you need. And then if while you're down there, go ahead and hit that share button to your main page and let the folks that you like to hang out with, people who know you best, to know where you're going to be hanging out and getting your good conversation in for the next few little minutes. Okay. Yes, sir. And share the video. Thank you so much. That's it. See, you see, that's how we do with the fam. Yep. What's up, Shatown? So yes, if you would go ahead and please share the video to your main line and let the folks know where you will be hanging out and invite them to join us here on this conversation. If they're your people, we are automatically inviting them to become our people. So go ahead and do that for us. And after that, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Nope. Damn. We know that sometimes, like, you got to take a week off, okay? You got to take a night off like I did last weekend. And you need to catch that replay. We don't want you to miss the show, okay? But we understand sometimes you got to hop off. You got things to do, and sometimes you need just need to miss, all right? And so we invite you to also go ahead and slide over to all of our social media because we offer replays on YouTube. We offer replays on SoundCloud now. But you can go ahead and tap in on all of our social media sites, which are on YouTube at The Scoop Show, on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, and Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show. Our hot topics, our main topics, so much of our content comes from the conversations that we have on these platforms. So we invite you to go ahead and tap in, go ahead and hit the likes, the thumbs, and the all of the bells and whistles that you need to always make sure that you know when the scoop is live and when our replays are locked and loaded. And yes, sir, as Winter Show, we got to add our new icon to the family because we are branching out, we are spreading our wings. So for those of you who can't watch the show live, we invite you to listen to the show live on SoundCloud by following The Scoop on SoundCloud. Now you can sit back, relax, and get comfortable. No more instructions other than enjoy yourself. How are you, bro?
I'm good. My allergies are kicking my butt, but I'm good. Other than that, good weekend, Mother's Day. So that was good to see my mother. And then she graduated Saturday with her master's degree. So that was dope. So yeah, I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm good. So we had to do a down and back trip Saturday for the graduation and all that stuff. So yeah, because I work on Sundays. So So yeah, good weekend, good start to the week. I just got to get this whatever this is going on done. So yeah.
Allergies got a hold of Adrian and James too right now. So yeah. I'm doing one of these to it. I'm like, put it over there.
Snot rags over here. So if I'm, it's all good. What's up with you?
That time? I'm good. I'm good. It's been a good productive day. It was got a lot done, and had a follow up for my next situation for y'all that have been following the situation. It was a good report on a good plan. So I'm being optimistic. It's been an optimistic week so far. Good.
Yeah, that was a much better report than yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was a little anxious. I was a little nervous, which is why I wasn't talking about it a whole lot because I was trying not to work myself up and into a tizzy. And I'm glad that I did not do that because it worked. It worked out. So.
Absolutely, KG. Rebuke him.
Yes, it's going around. Not good.
We got a good show tonight.
We do.
We got some good stuff to talk about. The people's is talking. And so we had a very good pre-show conversation to discuss some of these topics. So I am I am anticipating some of this discussion. Oh wait, hold on. I just realized
I've got my Zen on. I have meditated. I colored a little bit. I read a little bit in my book. Like I had to get myself in the
What's up, brother?
For tonight's show.
You ready for hold on, I just realized that I don't have one of the our first topic I don't have in here. So hold on, y'all give me a second. I just realized it. Hold on. Lord help us. And of course, we're gonna get y'all. If y'all haven't hit the share button, hit the share button. Go ahead and do that, and tag your peoples. That's why it ain't in there because I didn't put it in here either. Hold on, I'm all over the place.
Just talking about it. Yes. That one was in our chat, but not in the
right. Okay, hold on. Y'all give me 1 second. Here it come. All right. So,
well, sound better? Like the hit.
You said what?
I said, want to talk about it? Like the hit go.
Right. Hold on. I promise y'all it is. Okay. For those who don't know, clearly we produce our own show. So maybe listen.
Usually this is where I slide in our request for folks to submit their resumes for production.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. Here's the first. Here's the first. So we go kick it off with this. All right. So the first post, the first hot topic for the night is. So I posted this from Black Marriage Movement. It says if he makes you laugh, kisses your forehead, says he's sorry, makes an effort, holds your hand, works hard, attempts to understand you, then believe it or not, he's quite perfect. Again, if he makes you laugh, kisses your forehead, says he's sorry, makes an effort, holds your hand, works hard, attempts to understand you, then believe it or not, he's quite perfect. Q, what's your thoughts?
Mm. I don't. I'm not gonna say he's quite perfect. I think he's got a really good foundation for being a really great partner. Um, I think all of these things are great if these are all the things that this particular woman is interested in. If these things don't particularly float her boat, then and this is all that he's got, I see that becoming an issue. But yes, on this is great. Like I'm not knocking this at all, but I'm not gonna end it with you lose me at the he's quite perfect. I think that's a cute anecdote to say like all of these are really really great traits, but I think they're really really great traits for the woman who really really likes these things. If he's willing to accommodate the things that she does like, that she does dig, and it's with the same energy and effort that he would give these things, then yeah, I would think yeah, that's pretty damn dope, and you're gonna win points for that. If you show up with all these things and they may not be what she's digging, and she's like, but I really don't dig all of it, and he's like, all right, cool, what is it you dig? Dunsies, you know what I mean? Like, and then when they go on to live happily ever after, I rock with that. I think that's kind of cool. No, you don't have to do magic. I just said what you got to do. That was what I said. I didn't say you had to do magic. And I said it was cool. I'm not knocking on me. I'm not knocking it. But every woman does it like this. I've met women who don't like affection. They don't like hugs and they don't like holding hands. But they love hard and will go to the bat for you. You know what I mean? Like every woman don't like these things. But if this is all you got, and if you are a forehead kisser and a hand holder, and you are not willing to not hold hands and not kiss foreheads, and you're just like, you gonna like these forehead kisses, that's gonna be a problem. That chick does not see this dude as perfect. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I say what I say. So yeah, not magic, just play.
So I'm gonna say this. I think I hear those things, but the one that you the two that you the three that you didn't just say are the three that makes me agree with this. Makes an effort, works hard,
Yep.
attempts to understand.
Yep.
I think
Yep.
any man
Those are great.
who makes an effort, who works hard, and attempts to understand you is a man who, if he ain't perfect, he damn close he is.
He's trying. Yeah.
Because you don't get, especially over an extended period of time, many men. I ain't gonna say that many men. You know, you're going to, if you have a man who's making an effort, who's working hard, and who is attempting to understand you, then as a woman, again, the other things, I'm with you. If you don't like forehead kisses, that's cool. If you don't like forehead kisses, I need to know why too. By the way, if you don't like laugh, if you don't want to laugh, I need to. You're gonna have to help me
Right.
understand.
Right.
Because out of 100 women, 99.9 women
Mhm.
love to laugh. So you're gonna have to help me understand that one.
Yep.
I could even get with the holding hands. I know women who don't love holding hands. You know, I get that. But the makes you laugh and the forehead kisses, I don't know about that with you. I think Tay Diggs then got it to where every woman want forehead. Just about everybody want forehead kisses. Just about.
You and I both know women who have not really been team affection and have had to now. Not saying they stay that way, but have had a lot of struggles with it and have still only identified it with a few people. Like that is different for some. This is a very small list of things, you know what I mean? But I completely agree with you on the three majors that stood out for you. But we've gotten a lot into lists lately. So I was like, okay, the
Yeah.
perfection part is the thing I think that I probably could have done more depth in thinking on that, but I'm thinking to, yeah, there's a lot, but the
I
understanding
think
is key. It is.
I was going to say, and I would say this too. I think that also because if I, they say, right, why does like foreign
You said you
kisses?
ain't getting no hugs when you was little. Hey,
Right. I
some folks
mean,
got some stuff that goes
there's some
on.
truth.
And yeah, yeah.
There's some truth to that. But I think like what I also understand is as a man, if I were trying, hey Jamaica, if I were
Mhm.
if I was working hard, trying to understand her and what was the other one? Trying to work to understand her and
Making an effort. Oh,
making
that
it
was trying hard. Making an
yeah,
effort.
making effort. I was making an effort, consistent effort, working hard, and I was attempting to understand her. And there was still some resistance, not to forehead kisses, but there was resistance. Then I would be like, she don't like me,
Yeah.
like unless there
Mhm.
was communication that said, hey, listen, I'm just not real big into fake. Because most the other part of it is most ladies that I've experienced and that people I know have experienced, even if they like you, then even if they're not the best or the most, they don't love
Yeah.
affection, the PDA will like it from a guy that they really like and they really
They like.
likes it. So
Mhm.
I think there's some, there's a slide in thing, but this idea of perfection, obviously, yeah, I took it as a bit of hyperbole because, like, even on the post, nobody's perfect. We know that. It's like we know
Right.
nobody. Oh, like work with us here, people.
Yeah.
That's not the
Yeah.
point. The point is, like, this is a good, really good situation. If a man is literally trying to be affectionate, trying to, like he's trying, he's working
He's
hard,
trying.
he's doing this on a consistent basis. I mean, other minus him having another family on the other side of the city, like he's doing pretty good.
I think that's the one word that might have been missing from this that might have made more women excuse the whole perfect word was consistency. I
Yeah,
think all of these things are great and are great, but can also be done in spurts.
yeah,
So the consistency piece being missing could possibly be what some of us got caught up on. Because that
possibly
could have changed the tone a bit of it. And like the consistency piece of it changes the expectation of all of these things together. But yeah,
true. That's true. That's definitely true.
it's a solid
Which
list
is
though.
not,
Like
which
it's a
I
solid
think
list.
yeah, which is also one of the things that I think that we have to also think about too is like you can't do those things one time and expect her to like fall all head over heels for you either. So that's
Yeah,
not a
that's
fair thing. Like you do have to be consistent, just like we expect ladies to be consistent with how they love us. So that's fair. I think that's fair. All right. Anything else on that one?
Mm-mm, no.
All right. Let's do this
Oh Lord.
one. All right. So somebody says that really hurts, and the response is, you know what hurts? Walking home and starting to cry before you even make it inside the house. Laying on the floor and just crying your eyes out for hours and hours because you feel so alone and you hate yourself so much, you just don't know what else to do. Wanting to do something to distract yourself, but not even having the energy to get up. That's a lot.
It was a lot, but then not at the same time.
Yeah. There's
It
a lot
was
of
a
words.
lot, but
A lot of
then not.
words.
Yeah, it was a lot of words. It
A lot
was
of
a lot of
words.
words.
A lot of words. And I'm going to start by saying that I'm not going to even lie to you. And uh, I thought the blue was a lady because I'm like, clearly no dude is writing this much.
I would
That
agree.
really, that
I
really
would have
hurt.
made the same assumption. Forgive me too, then, because like I'm right there with you.
I was like, I'm not supposed to make that assumption, but I don't think I've ever sent them that many words unless I was in trouble and I needed to get. That's a lot of words. But anyway, what are your thoughts?
So this one to me, I didn't have enough information to like go in one way or the other on this one. I thought to myself, what I thought this could possibly have been the gray was responding to a previous message. Possibly the blue could have already been emotional or vulnerable in the moment, sharing something with the gray and didn't like it and said that really hurt. And then the person is further expounding on the previous comment and saying, well, you know what hurts? Like this could have been a follow up to a previous message, which to me could be very necessary, could be very valid, and not as um um self-serving as some, as it might appear to be with just looking at these two text messages. I really would have liked to see what
Mm-hmm.
one or two before and one or two after
Mm-hmm.
may have
Mm-hmm.
looked like for context. But those were honestly, after reading just these two messages, I thought, well, what is, is this something that she's following, or and I'm gonna say, yeah, she's following up on from before. He's like, oh, like we're calling out a thing, and then, well, that hurt. Well, yeah, but this hurts too. Like this is what I'm trying to help you understand. Like I've been blue before, so like I don't know, and
Yeah.
what I mean? So, but depending upon if there was nothing prior, if blue was abusive before, and this person is honestly saying that hurt, like I don't like it when you do that. If that was them being transparent about something, and this was the response of blue, then I would think, I'm gonna need you to turn your listening eyes/ears on and think about what's really trying to be said here. But I didn't go fast with this. I wanted to know more information because I think I know that I've been blue before, but it was definitely in a follow-up mode. like,
Yeah.
like that was some dots before and afters of the previous.
Yeah. So I posted the question. What I posted was, when you see this, what do you think? And I think I said something to. I'm trying to find the post, but I said something to the effect of, when I see this, I see. Hold on, what did I say? Oh, I said I read this and think this could be the beginning of this relationship being great. I said, listen, all relationships have moments like this, and this is how you respond. I said, I wish more couples had these conversations and then listen to what hurts and were repentant. So,
Okay.
so when I read this, what I thought of, to be honest, was um, a person who was either, whether they were passive aggressive or what, but finally just reached the point where they just let out whatever was really bothering them. The blue and
Mm-hmm.
and the gray, had already, they, to me in my mind, had already said what it was that was done, or they already knew the situation that
Mm-hmm.
happened that hurt gray. So blue was like, you know what? I've been holding this in and biting my tongue for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me now say I've been in pain. So
Okay.
yes, this might have hurt you, but I have been in pain for a while, and this is what's been going on with me. And that's why I said I wish more couples would do this, because
Mm-hmm.
what I see a lot of is people who never say that they're in pain. I see specifically, I can see a lot of men. I see men and women, but I see a lot of men who will get around other men and talk about what's bothering them about their spouse or what's hurting about their spouse, but won't tell their spouse. And I see a lot of women who get around other women
Yeah.
and tell what's bothering about their spouse. But I never really see this kind of like raw, honest, you know, whatever, given directly to a spouse. And that's why I said I'm glad this came out. So
Mm-hmm.
now y'all could, hopefully they could come together, whether it's with a third party or not, with themselves, could come together and say, you put your hurt out, I put my hurt out. Now let's talk through it.
Right. Yeah. Which is necessary sometimes.
Yeah,
It's absolutely necessary. And I
yeah,
think I said at the end of my comment on the post, like these conversations aren't always cute. Like they don't always happen like they happen on TV when you see the little counseling sessions and the couple do the quiet tears. And I just
they
really
rarely, they rarely
that is
happen like that.
rarely how that happens. And honestly, I think text has become, especially for um those who struggle with feeling heard, or having the right words. Text has become the way that things like this get communicated.
Yes.
And that's for men and women alike.
Yes.
Those of us who like to communicate and prefer words were turned off that this was even happening via text. Like, why couldn't we just say this? Like, this is something that needs to be said so there's no miscommunication. But for people who struggle with face-to-face confrontation, that is the issue with the communication. That in itself is also a roadblock to having clear communication. You're communicating, we're possibly communicating clearly as a communicator, but that could be like overwhelming to a person who needs a minute to be able to clearly articulate, get it out so that their feelings are being heard, and or not even necessarily heard, but just exact what they're meaning. You know what I mean? Because you're bouncing off of what someone else is saying, and then you're getting emotional, and you got to respond, and you don't want to miss that thing. Oh, but wait, let me say something. Because you're now moving at a different pace than what is comfortable, and that in itself is it can be very manipulative. So I think I agree that this could be, if dug into respectfully, because I can't say positively necessarily, because this could get a little
go either way.
better. You know what I mean? But to go into it with the mission of getting through it, I think these could be very, very good conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah, somebody, I mean, so yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But I think we also have to, like, to your point, also realize or think about that for the person who doesn't like conversation or who doesn't like confrontation, not so much just the words, but the aggression behind words can also be problematic. Because for some, like for myself, there was a time where if you confronted me a certain way, in order to not go to 10, I went to 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so because to me, like anytime I'm confronted, everything is like 10 times louder and 10 times faster. And I'm like, hello, let me calm down, because they probably didn't mean it the way that they just said it. But because I'm on 10 and that's how I heard it, like I need a second to calm, process. Okay, let me do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And before, to your other point, before text, this was letters.
Yep.
Like people used to write letters to each other. Like, okay, and this is what we would do. Like I grew up in a house, so they would write letters. And we used to have a joke like, somebody wrote a letter. This is like, mom wrote dad a letter, dad wrote mom a letter. So I mean, it was that kind of thing. So I think it's good. I think it's definitely good. Or could be good. Let me say this. Hey, Kel. I didn't even see Kel again. How you doing? Let's see. It says, I think that this person is responding brash. They've been waiting to say this. Probably.
Yep. That's definitely been pent up. Yeah. It's been in his chest right here, just waiting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Person could have said good morning and went off. Probably.
You know what? What's so good about this morning?
Like probably, because I mean, again, like I said, there are some people who you just need an opportunity. So that is very well could have happened. That person that constant peanut, the blue needs to release. They seem frustrated. Yeah. Say Gray's not putting it down. Maybe. I hate text messages because they have no tone. I need tone and facial expressions. So here's the other part to that. So yeah, I think a lot of people agree with that. But I think also, again, the tone and the facial expressions also can be harmful. So I think it just depends on the person and how you receive tone and facial expressions, and how you do tone and facial expressions, because some people don't do tone and facial expressions very well. So
I say it with my face, and often my face says something that I don't necessarily mean for the moment. Like as I process things, it goes across my face, and it's something that I've have failed at working on. It just that's how my face works. It just is. And that was an issue. That can still be an issue when confrontations happen, especially like within the relationship. My face can be going, and I'm just listening, like I'm processing with you because I'm not trying to react to everything, but I'm not gonna sit here and because I'm not feeling that. So like I'm one of those folks. If I'm you're gonna get exactly what I'm feeling, but I'm being thoughtful in the words that I say. So that doesn't always compute. You know what I mean? Like I'm just being real, and my husband knows that. Like he had at some point, it doesn't always happen in real time, but we'll come back and laugh about it. But has had to learn because I do it with everyone. It's happy y'all laugh at me here on the show because I do it. I've done it with guests. You know, so you have to be mindful of the people that you're dealing with when it comes to forcing that certain communication styles, because you have to recognize, is it going to be a hindrance? Could this make it worse, and give people their grace? It doesn't always have to stay in these mediums, but allow people to get their roots out of a thing in the space that's most comfortable so that you can actually get to a place of getting through it. Baby, my face been getting me in trouble for a long time.
And my tone, listen, and real talk, my tone gets me in trouble because people who talk to me will people will tell you that in conversation with me, I make them feel stupid. And I'm like, how? They're like, because your tone is like, don't you get it, stupid? I'm like, I don't mean to do that at all, but to some people, that's how they feel. So, like I said, I think we just have to recognize that. And again, it should go from text to conversation in person, but at least getting it started in that medium is not always a bad thing. So yeah.
I get that feedback when I type. It's very direct. If I don't sprinkle some sugars or some LOLs or some honeys in there, people are like, damn. I didn't even mean it like that.
I would love to say I can't see how people do that, but I actually
hey, I own it, and I do make an effort. You know, I do make an effort because I do know that about myself.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, and I know we talked a little bit about this, but man, like it was very interesting to see some of the assumptions created just off of these two. These literally two responses in a text message.
It was hilarious to me.
Like
I giggled so hard at that. I was like, damn.
I was like, wow. They're immature, they're manipulative. I'm like, from that, like, how do we draw these wholesale conclusions about a person really based on one response?
Yeah.
With no context, with no. I was just shocked. I was like, wow, we have just made a whole decision. But it made me but think about like a lot of the way we perceive things is because we're bringing ourselves and our experiences and to what we read. So it made me think about like some of and how those experiences at this point, whether they've been good or bad, have shaped us into making a decision about somebody, which then leads me to, could this be part of the reason why some of our friendships and relationships are there? Because we're making assumptions without proper communication. And I know, again, when we're having these types of posts, we're somewhat asking for people's opinions, but like, I don't think I'm asking for people's opinions about who the person is. Like, just what are your thoughts on the conversation?
Right.
It was just like, this person is not emotionally intelligent. I'm like, how did you get that from that? Like, I actually thought it was very emotionally intelligent to say how you feel. Well, they didn't give them the time. It was about the other person. Okay. Okay.
It depends if this was what we were even talking about beforehand. You know, I think this is a gift and a curse of these scenario type situations. And I think so when the less context I have in the situation, I've tried to focus myself on what could be missing, like the why, all of the non-personals about the scenario that could have
Mhm.
led us to this interaction. I don't know if that's just because of how long we've been doing this, and we read everything in hopes of trying to dig through it. But even in how I watch movies and television shows, and how I have conversations with people about relationships, I found myself kind of trying to do the witness protection thing over the faces and look at just the elements of what are being shown and think of, well, how could we have, why did we, that was a bit much, you know what I mean? So I just kind of think that for these scenarios with the least amount of context, I would hope that after the shock value of the damn, okay, like you said initially after you read it, that was a lot. Like, that's a lot of words there. Try and get to why this could be, or how this could possibly be, instead of the projection onto, like, oh, well, they aren't ready for love, or they need to count, all of these, hardcore personal things that could then make someone else feel some type of way. Like, as if you saw yourself in blue, to read through those comments and be like, well, damn, tell me how you really feel. Like, I won't be doing that again, and even though they could have been very well justified in being very much blue in that moment. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I would let's it was very
It's
interesting.
interesting. It
Yeah. And
was.
even in the one that we talked about before about the he's quite perfect one, we found a way to make that guy, like, y'all thought I was doing too much. Y'all thought I wanted to die to do magic. Like, I went easy on homie compared to some of the breakdowns and shoulda coulda wouldas that he could have been in the he's quite
He's
perfect post.
gaslighting. He's
Yeah, it
really.
was gas. Like, it was a lot. So we have to be accountable to where our collective thoughts are right now as it comes to relationships. We are seeking out the trauma, the toxicity. We are looking to uncover it before we even decide if it's worth whatever fun or interesting it might could possibly be, whatever blessing it could possibly be. It's almost like we're aggravating it to highlight what could be the bad thing. Show me your bad before I even worry about the good stuff. Like, I want to see the worst of you before I could even waste my time with what could be the best of you.
Yep. Which is not good.
Yeah.
Not good. Let's see. A lot of time we read energy in text. It's not what what's not being said, and that's just as important as what's being said. The blue bubble gives me the vibe of, well, when you did what you did to me, as if the gray bubble was complaining but was talking to deaf ears. I'm just saying, and I mean, again, we acknowledge that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
That's. I think even in a lot of the other ones, we're not suggesting that they're not possibilities. It's just it's one possibility,
Mm-hmm.
which is, again, I think, if that is the first thing that we jump to or where we settle, for me it makes me question why even what I settled on when I said this could be the beginning of a really good time. Like, why did I settle on that being my stance as opposed to something else? And
Yeah.
it came to because I recognize how difficult it is for a man or woman. Typically, when I read it, to be honest, I thought about of a man to express this level of hurt. And then I thought, or of a woman to express this level of hurt. And then it made me think about other conversations I've had where when one person says they're hurt and the other person says they're hurt, and the first person who says they're hurt is allowed to give the time to say that they hurt, while the second person ain't allowed to say that. They just supposed to
Yeah, they have to wait.
and wait. So it's like, this is in my mind. I'm like, maybe they just don't know this. And so again, it's like, when you come to a position, ask the question, how did I come to this?
Mm-hmm.
And then we could have that, like, we could, move forward from that. But yeah.
Yeah.
But it just feels to me like everybody just don't want to be hurt and everybody's protecting. So it's like, before you hurt me,
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
do it too.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna show you that that I know you gonna hurt me and that you ain't gonna hurt me. So we said it's because you speak in a manner which is associated with intelligence, and a hit dog holler when they might.
Yeah, I knew you didn't read that one first.
Oh God, you never let me down, KJ. You never let me down. All right, let's keep going. Oh,
Oh Lord. I meant to
oh,
take this one and crop sis out of that one. I swear I did.
oh yeah, yeah. So my husband works and I'm a stay-at-home mom. He is the most unselfish person I know. I handle all the finances, and he has never said or acted like it was his money. It's our money. Anyway, he is upset with me because he found out that I had a bank account he knew nothing about. I've been making money online and keeping it from him. He says that his problem is not that I've been making money online, but that I kept it from him in the event of a divorce someday. He said that women keeping a stash of hidden money in case of the marriage fails, is like a man keeping a side chick in case the marriage fails. And we both need to be all in or nothing. My mom raised me to have a secret stash that my husband doesn't know about. Is this wrong? Is my husband right?
She was wrong for keeping it secret. Like, um, yeah, secrets aren't good. Um, I wondered how, like, does he also know that, did he not know that she had the job? Or, like, I don't know. I also asked, my first thought was, this man sounds like he did well. I asked, and I'm going back to the first time we talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think it was. I asked, is he the type of man who was raised to make the money, bring the check home, and the wife pays the bills? He doesn't pay much attention to that. And that's just, they never had a real conversation about financials and keeping separate money. None of that. It just is what it is. Now that he's finding out, he don't like the idea of her keeping separate money. Now they need to talk about it. Because I know men that way. I know men that are like that. I also know that there are women who have been raised to keep a stash. I was one of those women that was raised to have an account with money in it that only you can access, and that was your account to put money away in, and that's that. I was not taught to hide said money because said money was only accessible by me. In case of my death, then okay, fine. But while I'm a breathing, it's on me, homie. So like that. So the secrets was not necessarily a thing that I was taught. So that I can't get with really. I'm never really for secrets, but I don't know. She didn't say that she kept the money for a divorce. Did he assume that, or did that come out somewhere in the conversation? Because that's a big assumption to make. It might not be for a divorce, but even if it is, her reasoning for having a stash is valid. I get why you would want to keep a stash just in case. I wouldn't be mad if he had a stash either. Like, I think the secret is the issue, but I also would like to know how we got to this point, because she doesn't sound malicious. Like, she doesn't sound like she's like really trying to figure out like who's really. I don't see this as a big deal. Like, she was raised to think I'm supposed to have my money. It's supposed to be on the side. Ain't no big deal. He was giving her the money. He ain't inquired a whole lot about it. Sis has a whole online business that's generating enough income to stash away somewhere. There's no questions being asked. Like, does she leave? Like, what's happening? There's no communication. This all screams we don't communicate for it to even get to this point. And the whole side chick thing showing up, I'm like, bro, what? Like that? How do we get to the side? That's not what this means. So and that seems like a lot of escalation. And he's trying to get her to understand how his feelings are hurt. And why did you do me this way? I didn't know you was trying to sock away money on and just in case. But I don't know. There's a lot of extra flowered in this that I can't determine this fact or emotion in this.
Yeah.
Alyssa, we ain't worried about this picture, child. We don't know who this picture belonged to. They just slapped sis on the side of this story, and we cannot confirm or deny that this girl belongs to this to this story. I think that was just adding another layer of say what to the whole thing.
Yeah. So this is what you would call a fallacious argument.
A what?
A
A
fallacious,
fallacious?
yes.
Okay.
So it's a
Mm.
fallacy. So now an analogous fallacy, meaning his analogy was terrible. His comparison, but I say that, and on the post I made the comment. I said for people who were saying this, I made the comment that what he, which is pretty much what you said, which is he is trying to argue the impact of the two, and we can't really, like, we need to listen for the impact and not the analogy. So
Right.
okay, she would be pissed, like just how angry she would be if she found out he had a side chick, is how angry. Okay, got you. Not the same. Let's not. Let's say that, like, you just as angry as you'd be if I had another family someplace and you didn't know about it, and I had you thinking this, that I was all into this marriage, is the way that I feel, because this makes me feel like you're not all into our marriage. Number one, and I said this on the post when I post, I have zero problem and advise men and women to have stashes.
Mhm.
Um, my concern is the secrets,
Yep.
because you cannot. Marriage is about trust, and when you lose trust, if you can't do the work to get it back, the relationship is done.
Mhm.
Period.
Mhm.
We got science that proves that. So
Mhm.
it's not a you can argue what you want, but you would be wrong.
Yeah.
So you would just be wrong. It's just the reality. The biggest factor of success in a marriage is trust. And if if you lose that with your partner, you are done. So I think the bigger discussion is what he's really trying to say is, now my trust is broken, and she then needs to now do something to, not do something, but then to get to the point where yeah, she does something to reaffirm his
Yeah.
trust. Like, I'm not trying to leave you. I'm just saying, again, this is, and I think we've talked about this before, but I talk about explaining to each other the story, because had she known up front, my mom taught me this.
Mm-hmm.
My mom taught me going into the marriage. Hey, my mom taught me that, that a woman's supposed to have a stash just in case of divorce. So blah blah blah. He could have been like, oh, well, you ain't gotta have that. Just go ahead and open up an account by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal. Now where the money coming from, we gotta have all that conversation, because I need to know, like, there's other pieces to this that have me wondering, like, okay, like, how much money is in this account?
Right. Like none of that was shit. Like yeah.
Are they
Mm-hmm.
financially struggling? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if they were, like, it doesn't give any of that, but if they were financially struggling and she had this money, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, if dude went out and got a second job to kind of help them get big
Right.
bills, and she got
Yeah.
this
That's
money, that would be a problem. But outside of something like that, like, again, it's just a matter of trust.
mm-hmm.
And so now, how do we rebuild this trust and get them back to a place where they can, where he recognizes that, listen, she's not saying that she wants a divorce or she thinks you're going to get a divorce. What she's really saying is, I'm a stay at home mom, and I'm financially vulnerable at this point,
Yeah. And
and
she
so
is.
I need to do something to put myself in a position where if something were to happen, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It has nothing to do with my love for you, my care for you, my desire to want to be with you. It's just that right now I feel super vulnerable, and let's work through that. Let's work through that, because I don't want to. I don't want to be vulnerable. And as a man who has clearly, in my opinion, who well, again, we don't really know, but let's just, if he really cares about her, it's like, I don't want you to feel like that. So what do we need to put in place? And if it's a separate account with your name on it that I don't have access to, cool. But you ain't gotta have the money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So let me make sure that because that's what I was rolling around in my brain when you said I don't want you to feel vulnerable. I don't want to feel vulnerable. Are you meaning so? Let's create the account so that you don't feel vulnerable, like financially vulnerable, or are you meaning like there's going to be a conversation that's going to be had that's going to make it so there is no need for? that account any further.
I'm saying that I would no. I would say that you could, and that's it. If she's saying that she feels financially vulnerable, then keep the account. Just don't hide it.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Okay.
me. I would say that. Now, if he would say, "Listen, I don't," he might have another discussion because again, she might not even like. For all I've seen conversations like that, where after they have the conversation, she doesn't feel the need to have it anymore. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe the answer is a prenup. You know what I mean? Or so. I mean, like I said, it just really depends on the scenario.
Yeah.
But if she feels that that's a need for her,
Mm-hmm.
then okay.
I got you. I was just in that was something I was taught by both of my parents, and it was one of those the comfortable the understanding we would have is that we both good with me having it type things. Like, cause we can have a warm and fuzzy, that because the whole point of it would be to be when things aren't great. You know what I mean? To make sure that you can still get back to okay when things aren't great, just in case. And that if anything, we would just agree that now you have one too, and X amount of whatever goes
Absolutely.
there now. So we're now on the same easy
Absolutely.
peasy. So okay, thank you
Yep.
for that because I was just wondering, like, what are we unvulnerabling? What are
Well,
we securing
both of
here?
them.
So now that
We're
makes
for
makes
both
sense.
of them because for him it's understanding why
Yeah, yeah,
and responding, and for her it's saying her why and not having to hide it, but then also
Mhm.
not having to be in the space where she's hiding. Like that
Right,
can't be cool to be hiding it. Like you, if you making money online, like you walking around on eggshells, making sure he don't find what you're doing. Like
right.
both of
Because I'm
y'all.
like, did he know about the business and was thinking that that money was also going into the account,
Good
and
question.
now that he's finding out that the money is going into a separate account, he's like, wait, what's this?
Good
Like
question.
that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, how does your wife have a whole business that's generating enough money for you to be all razzle dazzled about that you don't know nothing about? Where have you been that you missed it? So like, and again, that's a communication thing. That's a
Yeah.
communication thing. She might not have thought anything about it because if she's handling all the finances, she's just doing her thing, because who knows what other accounts that could be he's the primary on that are also being managed out of that main account so that she knows that he could be set. Like she could be looking at a full portfolio knowing all of what's being handled and no matter how this works out, homie's good. So this is going here. But again, she should have communicated that. That needs to be a conversation. That can't continue to be something she keeps to herself.
Now if she drop shipping, that's one thing. Like then now I'm like,
Yeah,
bro,
right.
hey, you
She
didn't
was
see all the
supposed
boxes? What do you think all the
right,
boxes were for? Like
right.
you know what I mean? Like she drop shipping out the house. What's
Mm-hmm.
all the t-shirts in the garage? What did you? So it depends on what the business. I'm interested in that too. So
Yeah, it's a lot.
she say hey, that woman is lukewarm. She got one foot out the door. Danielle says, "Nah, keep some change in the side, but let him know up front. I don't have my period every day, but I keep a backup just in case I have a surprise."
Hmm?
Yep. And how he not know she has a job income coming in? He clearly ain't looking at the statements.
Yeah, he ain't paying no attention.
Is this an OnlyFans type of revenue stream? Because they get big mad, bro.
That's what made me speak about the picture. I thought she was talking about what she had on. I was like, because that does scream OnlyFans ish type situations.
Yeah. So I just give my wife the check, and she handles everything. It's the life. I want to have my own. He can know about it, but I spend in spurts on myself. So if I don't spend anything for 6 months and want to spend $200 at TJ Maxx one day, I don't want any flack because I was good for a long time. Yeah, that's
Thanks.
fair.
I've been good.
So like me, he's trying to relay how hurt he is by her saving money and relating it to something that she would equally be hurt to. But that's still conflation. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
The story I once read that come to mind. A lady charged her husband for loving their whole marriage. She saved it and bailed them out. A tough spot, not for me, but I thought that was kind of cute. Yeah, I mean, I've seen those too. I've seen stories like that as well. All right,
Sometimes those stashes come in clutch.
listen, that's why you need them. That's why you need
Yep.
them. Excuse me. All right. Oh, I skipped one, but okay, we'll go back. Excuse me. If a man told me he asked my dad's permission to marry me, I would literally say no to his proposal because that is mad disrespectful to me. As if I couldn't make a decision to completely merge my entire future with someone else without my daddy's permission.
You know what I remember when I read this? Coming to America.
That's what you thought about?
When old boy asked her daddy and they had this whole announcement and nobody thought to include her, like, I got that type of energy. Like, how dare you? You know what I mean? I thought about those types of situations. I can see a woman being not very cool with you going around her before she's aware that there's a proposal coming in this day and age. Now, if she's a traditional chick and is all for all of the pomp and circumstance and hitting all the marks and doing the respect thing, cool. Does she like her daddy? You know, those are things you find out during the dating stage. But if you've gotten to the point of proposing to this woman and you didn't know that she would rather you not talk to her daddy about marrying her first, then I mean, you probably shouldn't be proposing to this woman. Y'all have some differences in values, but yeah, I thought about the coming to America situation where, you know, that might not have been the best thing. My dad like the complete opposite of the dudes that I ended up really, really liking at first. Any guy that my dad like that, so we just have to really think about that. Sometimes it sounds cute, but in execution, it does not always work out for said wife or fiance or betrothed.
Yeah, I hear you. I maybe it's my old school nature speaking.
It is.
I think that for as a man, like there's for me it was just it's just like it's not permission first of all. I think it's just a level of like honor that whether it's the father, whether now I understand the idea that the father was never there and all that kind of stuff. Like I can understand that, but even like in that situation, then whomever the male or female figure is that is the I'll call it like head of the family, so to speak. Like to get their more so like I like how my old man put it on the post. Like it's more of like getting their blessing, not so much their permission. And so I look at it from that perspective. Now I will say, first time when I got married, I didn't do it, and it created a problem. But I didn't do it. Now I also say I didn't do it because he and I had a conversation, and he was like, "Man, when you gonna marry? When you gonna marry her?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm soon. I just like we had the." So in my mind, that was the blessing. So I thought we were cool. So when I did it and found out like months later he felt some kind of way because I didn't come to him first, I was like, and I had to go to him, was like, hey, that was not my intention. I thought that conversation that we had was that. So I think a lot of it has to do with, again, it's just really so much the whole blessing of of it. And then as a man, I think about kind of what KJ said in the comments, like if this were my daughter, like how would I want to be treated? Whether he was good or not, like if he's there, you kind of just want to. I don't know. I just have this thing about honoring men, so that's just me. So, but I get it. Her response to me, I was like,
I also don't think she had like an actual dude that this was happening for. This was a very hypothetical, so I can be kind of out there because I'm not talking about an actual man that I have that I could say
like
no
that you
to.
actually like.
Like, yeah, or that she likes. Like, but I would think she would also, if she's this bold in a comment in a post like this, she's gonna let the dude know. Don't go ask my daddy to marry me. Like, don't do that. Like, I'm not even. Don't do that. That'll be the fastest way to get you with me. Don't. I'm not that type of chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I always think when you go and you ask and then they say nah, like what do you do with that? So now you got this whole standoff with you and the daddy because he say no, you can't have my daughter, but like good and damn well she gonna want to marry. Like, so what do you do
Yeah.
now? Now you got to go back and forth with the daughter and the daddy when you know good and damn well you try. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I
Yeah.
always want
The
that. That
dad
is
no.
has that
Dad
could have changed, huh?
I said, but 99% of the time, dads know. Like they know it's coming, and they know that there's really that their position. This is really a thing of honor, not of permission. Like you saying no, all that's gonna do is nothing. So it's like it's really what it does is gives you the opportunity to say like, hey, this is what I see. Like I think you need to tighten up on like get a job. You ain't got no job. How y'all get married with no job? Stuff like that. But most men when they come to the dad, it's not a yes or no. Like that ain't changing nothing. And the
I'm
dad,
looking at with the men folk. I just look back on some things and I say, yeah, that wouldn't have ended so well. Like, it's just, mm-hmm.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
What did it say? My wife didn't even talk to her father, and I felt like it was important that I met him because I would like for my daughter's future partner pay me the same respect. Yeah. After thinking a while, I think it's mad respectful, but for me personally, it's really six and one, six and one half dozen in the other. Yeah, he said big facts. It's about honor. Yeah, that's really. It's a man thing. It's a weird man thing. As my dad would say, so we have a saying. We say it's only one can only be one bull in the pen, and that's it. So it's just a weird man thing.
I'm going to my other side of my hybrid self right now. You see, I'm
I know it's okay. We'll say the next one for next week. Next week since we going into the second hour. All right, that was our topics for this week.
saved by the bell. So for
Oh,
two
go
times, time was on my side.
ahead. Woo, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Wash day has never been so simple, sis. Let's be honest. Rarely is spending a day bent over the sink and stuck under the dryer considered ideal for self care. We got things to do, okay? So get back to it and trade those 5011 products for three of our best selling staples for your basic hair care needs. Cleanse and condition your curls with our super rich, deliciously citrus scented Quench shampoo and conditioner, and lock in that bounce and shine with our Do Me Daily moisturizing cream that gives your coils the proper stage to show out no matter how you decide to style. Grab yours today at elegancebydesign.com.
You heard her. Elegancebydesign.com.
All right. Also, make sure, yeah, if you're for your advertising needs, y'all come and holler at us. If you have a event, a book, a business that you need the peoples to see, you need to come and see us. More information, you can either DM me, Q, or email us at globaldriveradio@gmail.com and we can schedule some time that we can get together. But if
Mhm.
you have an event, a book, something that you want the people to see, to get in their hands for them to buy, you need to advertise with us now.
Yes, sir. And ma'ams.
All right, let's go. So let's talk about it.
So, if you've been anywhere near these here internets for the past few, what is it? It's been a week. Has it been a week?
Almost, no, it was
It
almost
feels like at least a week.
Friday. It
It
happened
feels
like Friday,
okay.
right?
Was it Friday?
Thursday,
It
Friday.
feels like a week easy. Like I feel like we should be coming on the cusp of week 2 at this point, but maybe just a few days. So if you were online over the weekend, you have more than likely heard of the passing of Kevin Samuels, who has made his social media and internet and I don't know if he made it globally yet, but he has made a very wide and well-known name for himself via his social media show that he would host. I believe it was platformed on YouTube, where he gave relationship advice and offered interviews where men and women alike would call in and ask him questions as it related to relationships and compatibility and tips on how to become better partners. So, yeah. Kevin, so this to button it up, Kevin passed away this weekend. I believe he had said that he's had some type of cardiac arrest situation where he passed away, and the internet has been reacting to said passing all weekend. There have been lots of think pieces. There have been lots of posts. Some of my favorite podcasters have already spoken about it, and there have been lots and lots of thoughts about Kevin Samuels being shared. So tonight we are going to discuss his impact and effects, his effect on our social media environment, our culture, our relationships, how we do this thing, because it goes without saying, no matter if you loved him or you did not care for him at all, you cannot deny that this man made waves, that you could not get around the content that he produced. And while we here on the Scoop would not necessarily always share directly from or give direct um, um, quote for quote of exactly what was being shared, we also discussed quite a bit of the content that his content would provide through our own environment. So definitely condolences to his family and those who loved and supported him in his work. But tonight we really want to discuss the effects that this extended period of time of his influence on the internet has been. Y'all, I'm really trying. Win, please save me, because I'm gonna need you to slide on in now.
You did good. You did good.
When I speak of effects, we have to be honest now. I've done all of my
Absolutely.
the cuteness that I can, but like Kevin Samuels, for a lot of us, and just now speaking from the Black women space, was not always. He wasn't for me. I did not like the content. I did not like the delivery. I did not feel the content was for me. So that was one that he wasn't talking to me. But two, I think that I've been very, very vocal about the fact that I did not like the delivery of what he was about. I thought that even if there was any truth to what he was saying, whether it be for men or women, but he targeted, he did most of his content was aimed at Black women. The content that went viral, okay, the stuff that was all over, that we kept seeing, that we got acquainted with him with, that would be a bit much for me. The delivery was a bit much. So I was not a fan. I thought that overall the work, the content that would be put out there, I almost always was doing this too. So at this point, that's really like this is not the first time y'all have heard this. This is not my new stance on this because of the current events. This is how I've always felt. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So now, When, I'm going to stop talking and let you do a little bit of that.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to agree with you. First thing, of course, obviously, condolences to his family. I think that if we're talking about his effects on culture, we got to be honest to say that there was absolutely an effect. So I think that I think there were several things that he revealed to us that we didn't pay attention to until he came along. I think we've talked in at not we've talked before about how we didn't always disagree. We didn't disagree with a lot of what he said, but that number one, the way he said it was problematic, and that overall, that what he was doing was not helping bring together specifically black love. Like he was not
Mhm.
helping that, and he said that um, because you can. It's one thing to do something in the name of truth, um, but it's another thing to do it to harm telling truth and or your version of truth. Let me say that, and think that that is also supposed to do like supposed to bring healing. Like that to me, like we're in a situation in a space as a people, my opinion, that we need to heal. Like we're already broken. So to continue to do something that would further wound just wasn't helpful. And I said from I didn't know, again, I wasn't a large consumer of his content, but the content that I would consume, I'd be like, some of that's okay, that's yeah, I can get with that, but
Mhm.
ooh, did you got to call it that, or
Mhm.
oh my, like, but did you got to say that? You know what I mean? So it was just that those kinds of things. Like, how do you expect somebody to be built up? Um, Hearing after you've called them a leftover, after
Right.
you know, or even men, like after you've said that because you don't make X amount and don't do this, that you're not a high value man. I'm like, whoo, like it just was weird to me to have that happen. So um,
It was hard for me to see the tough, I've seen a lot of tough love remarks. It was, we have to, sometimes the truth hurts, and we gotta say these things so we can get better and all of that. I think we forget, and I've said this also here on the show for years now, I know, but tough love you first have to have an established foundation of soft love in place for a person to truly get the benefit of what tough love is really meant to be. If the only encounter with you, the only energy a person receives from you is tough, and then you just call it love, that doesn't translate the same way. So, it's hard to make the connection that some of the most hurtful things, even if somewhere in there could be some vein of logic or understanding, how hurting me and breaking down all this to this level, and then these few things are supposed to somehow puff all that back up.
yeah,
I think that's irresponsible. I think that's
yeah,
very
I think that's a good word. Yeah, here I think that's a very good word, irresponsible. I think it's I would say it's irresponsible, and it is also not what's the word I want to use. Yeah, I don't know what the word I'm trying to say, but it doesn't really accomplish the thing that it's supposed to accomplish.
Mhm.
Because I think for every person who and I'm this specifically for every woman who has said that like they've benefited from it, that how many of them were wounded by it.
Mhm.
And so I know some, and I'm going to even go out and say that I know some of that, again, like we talked about earlier, has to do with interpretation, and how you already come to the conversation, which is problematic in itself, and which to me is where the responsibility comes in as someone who cares, who says they care about building relationships, is as if I see someone is fragile, then my responsibility is to handle them, not to because I'm well known for being given for soft landings, but but I also, so I don't, but at the same time, like, where is some people need soft landings.
Right.
Everybody doesn't need a glass broke, psh, kind of conversation to where it's like, oh, I say that, but I also balance what I'm saying with also. So the other part of this was we were looking at it today, is as I was looking at the articles, is they were talking about how he started in 2014, and I didn't know he had been doing this for that long. He had been doing this since 2014. Started his YouTube channel and didn't get popular until 2020. So I found that to be very interesting. And when I looked to see kind of what the differences were, it was that one viral video of him telling the lady she was a four and she did, and I'm like, what does, so then it made me wonder, like, what's wrong with us?
Which is why people say that without, like, even though he's gone, this will keep this he was the voice. He became the voice for a group of people who feel a certain type of way. That feeling had been bubbling. So you're right. What's wrong with us? It was a flashlight shown on how we can become gluttons for our own punishment as women. Because there were women who consumed that content that consistently called. I don't know if every woman was a true person calling for real reasons, or if some of these
Yeah.
folks after the channel grew, if these people may or may not have been. But you know, that he had viewership from both men and women alike. But we became glutton, similar to the Real Housewives, the that culture. It became very, very much in the same energy, because how we replayed and relayed and then applied that to our real lives, and we started attaching bits and pieces of content that really doesn't always relate and have proper context to the people that we engage with. And that's where I think the effect has reached further than just that show. That, because it's much bigger than just.
Yeah, and then it was like there was a level of, I mean, so yeah, you're absolutely right, because I mean, what, 1.2 million YouTube subscribers,
And a Patreon. Like,
you
that is
know,
still.
1,800 and some odd people on Patreon.
Mhm. Mhm.
Some of them paying him, what was it, $1,000 a month?
Yeah. There were, it doesn't show how many have been purchased, but there were quite a few that said such an amount of available. Like, there was a whole platform set up for
It
this.
was 17. One article said there were 1,700 people, over 1,700 people who paid him between five, and that's $5 and $20 tiers.
Mm.
And I mean, if you watched, if again, I watched a couple of his YouTube things, and there were people every time I would watch giving 20, 50, 10.
Doing the stars and things. Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all are paying for this? I said, me and Q doing this wrong. We're doing this wrong. What is but but there were, but yeah, but so I mean, it just made me think, like we are a part glutton for punishment, but is there something to, like, the way he was saying it? Even if he was, I mean, like, this harsh, maybe not using leftover terms like leftovers, but it made me think, like, do I need to ditch my soft landings? And like, it's like people are listening, and I don't understand.
Well, I think a lot of that is reminiscent to what we were brought up on.
Okay.
A lot of us received our love, our discipline, our correction, not soft. That is foreign to us. So when we're going for advice, when we're going for direction, guidance, correction, rarely has that voice been soft, sweet, loving. Like, that is new. So yeah, it's relatable to hear someone giving us guidance, information, kind of hardcore. Like, lean on me, Mr. Joe. All of the people who are influential that get the accolades are usually got a little rough, a little more to them. But those are also the people that when you get us vulnerable, you get us quiet. Those are the same. I mean, you get us safe and open. Those are the same types of environments and relationships that we're now on the couches and making mental health the booming
Absolutely. You try to get
thing
fixed from.
that it is. That's why mental health is trending in
Yeah.
the way that it is, because we've learned throughout time that that is not as helpful as it might have felt.
It's
You
not.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fruits of said laborious conversations have not been what we thought they were. So, you know, it's hard to break away from what feels comfortable
Absolutely.
to say, why you gotta say it like that? Now we're sensitive
Even if
because we
it's
want people to
dysfunction.
give a damn about how they say some hard stuff. You know, the stuff we're talking about is hard enough as it is. Why do we have to say it hard on top of the fact that it's hard and heavy anyway?
Yeah.
But I think it's just comfortable. It's what we know.
Yeah, we're
The devil.
comfortable with dysfunction. Is what it boils down to. But again, I think we have to, like I said, I think about. So, do you think? Let me ask this question: do you think that for all of that, there was, what was any good, any positives, any like?
Mm, I don't know if I'm a good person to answer that, because I can honestly say I didn't give much of his content a full listen. I did not give him enough of a chance to make a full, honest answer of was his contribution helpful.
Okay.
Um, you know, because I would want someone to give me a good listen before
Yeah,
they wrote me off as, hi, like I'm whatever that is. But
yeah,
um, from how it affected our space, and because 2020 was COVID, and his content took over our space for the better part of that year. Like, we
mhm,
had to really figure out a way to bob and weave that overtaking our space. So for the ripples that it had on the real work that we had done to create a space, to try and create a space of a certain kind of conversation, I know how deep that ran for us.
yeah,
Um, and when we slid some good things in there, but
yeah,
it became really hard to positively dig through some of the extra that content created for us. So
yeah.
that's really the best I can say. Like, it stretched the hell out of us. Like, I think we became better
I can agree
podcast
with that.
hosts and content creators because of that effect. We
I agree with
really had to stretch ourselves and our rabbit hole dig abilities to find some
I think it made
good
us focus.
from
It
that.
made us focus in on
Yes.
really what we wanted to say.
What our goal was. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. And
yeah,
what our target message is. Yeah. To
yeah.
not do the same,
Right,
Yeah.
right. I think that
Mhm.
definitely was a. Yeah, I think some of the. I think for me, it helped
Thank
me.
you, JP.
I think for me, a positive effect was it helped. Like I use people as mirrors a lot,
Mm,
and that was a good mirror for me um, because I think one of the things that it exposed was our inability as men sometimes to clearly articulate certain things. And so
mm,
I was like, okay, without being as harsh, do I clearly articulate my perspective as a man and do it in a way that is confident? Like,
mm.
I respect, like, didn't agree with a lot of the stuff he said,
Right.
but respected the fact that there was confidence. He was confident enough to say it and be like, this is how I feel.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you could not say that the man didn't think about what he was saying.
Oh no.
He was
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
well thought
Very
out.
thoughtful. Hmm.
Very, so I mean, had done his numbers or had number, you know what I mean? So it was, I was like, okay, I can respect that. Is my presentation as strong as a man? So I did. I think it made me. It made me. I thought that was good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm interested on what happens next. So y'all know I love me some Ratchet and Respectable podcast, like Shameless Plugs, my girl. So I was listening to her most recent episode, and she made a comparison of how when the Tea Party first arose, and we were thinking, oh wow, these people are crazy, like woo, and then that kind of died down. Palin and them went away, and then things was cool for a minute, and then up comes the
DJ
most recent.
DJ
Yeah.
DJ T.
Yeah, so then we're like, oh whoa, so like we never really would have thought that was coming after the Tea Party. So that comparison kind of made a lot of sense to me, because there's going to be a successor. This isn't over.
More than
Like,
one.
and it's
More
going,
than one.
yes, and there are going to be women, there are going to be men, there are going to be, like, this is only going to gain more momentum. So um I this one is interesting, for especially for those of us in this space who have a very targeted mission and a targeted point of being here, and like we have a goal that we're setting that is not necessarily rooted in stats and payouts. Like that is different for us, because like you said, it makes you question sometimes, like, yeah, are we doing this right? Like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot that goes into this.
$20 a month. I could use $1,700 tab 17 tabs $20 a month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it makes you really question a lot. So going forward, I really would I think it's also why I was challenged to think about our earlier hot topics the way that I am. Like what we put out there, our initial quick draw thoughts for how we are relating to one another is very, very important right now. For us that really engage in this and care about how we're loving and relating and growing and teaching each other about our emotions and this thing, emotional maturity, and being good communicators and speaking in love, and all of these elevation things that we're talking about. What we want to do is we're educating ourselves. Are we really moving our whole selves to the next level, or are we just making our brains real big? So I'm really trying to think about, like, how critically are we thinking about these conversations, these scenarios, these hypotheticals. It's okay to go a little deeper. Like, nobody is over your shoulder clocking you because you give a little more thought to a couple that, why not? If you don't have a, why not? Because that is how we really get through to the whys and the hows and the shoulds and the coulds and what abouts, not just the, ooh, that looks like, because those are the easy, that's the surface, that's the basic. So
Right.
going forward, I'm concerned, but at the same time, I can't say that I'm not excited, for the same reasons that I mentioned, as far as how it's pressed and pushed us a little bit differently. I'm
Yeah.
proud of where our target has come, how far we've come, our scoop group, how far we've come in our ability to think through some of these things and have a different level of conversation. Sometimes in in tandem to some of the other that happens, because
Oh yeah.
we've learned to do both. But I am very interested in what's coming, because this is
Yeah.
not.
It's not. It's not, because I mean, if you think about it, the same thing happened on the other side. Like for the people who I was thinking of, I'd say like it's. I'm sure this has happened long before then, but like since I remember, the first person I really picked up who was doing this was Tony Gaskins,
Oh,
and I'm
that's
like,
the hazel eye dude, right? That's the
yeah.
dude with the eye.
I'm like,
Okay.
we went from Tony Gaskins to Derek Jackson to like, and then all these other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm like, and those were, let's just call them, let's the ones who are more on the ladies'
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
side, and
Yep.
then now you have him. So there are definitely going to be others who come along who try to fill that, like KG said, fill that vacuum and try to take that spot. And it's going to be interesting to see who does it, and how they do it, and and whatnot. But it's going to happen. because one of the things that I've said is to me it seemed like not all, but a lot of the men who uh, who liked him because he said the thing that they felt like they couldn't say,
Mhm.
which is a problem, by the way. That's a problem. That's problematic, folks. You got to be able to say it yourself. But it felt like he was saying that thing that men wanted to say, and that's for again, not all men I think felt like that, but I think that there was a large portion of men who thought that. And I told you, I heard somebody make the comment that he helped them realize they didn't have to settle, and my first thought was, how are you a whole grown man and still think you got to settle, like, or a whole grown woman and think you got to settle? But that's just me. So I think for that type of person, um, they're going to definitely flock to whoever the next person is that says what they want to say.
Yeah, and that kind of I think that is what concerns me the most, honestly, is that his voice was the one that men felt was needed the most. Like what he was saying, the way he said it, though that is what they wanted to say. And it to me, I thought to myself, now how can we say all of this over here? Like we can all that they can agree that he was speaking for the men who are talking to the one. This is what they want to say to us. But then on this side, when we have these conversations about how women perceive the relationship, the perception of women from black men, that we're not liked, we're not the first to be picked, we're not looked at as beautiful or viable candidates for moving through life with and being successful with and all, building and all that. When we're saying that, y'all making that up, ain't nobody thinking that, but then you have so many men, like I've never seen men type the way that they typed in response to and in support of this voice that has been silenced until he spoke up for us. And we've been wanting to say these things. And if only y'all could hear it, but now he's here to say it. And I'm thinking, we heard y'all. We've been saying that y'all been feeling like, so I'm like, if y'all not men on these folks are free. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe like I have an insight to it because of the in-depth way that we do these, but like I'm also in these rooms with all of these people in these posts, and then I'm like, so we we know, so like why is it such of a so we're
But
so delusional when the women say no, y'all ain't really rocking with us like that, like because
that's
here they
right.
are.
And I think to my post, so I think that's where the misconception is. I don't think that either of us are hearing each other.
Mm,
So
I would
I
agree with
think
that
that's
too.
part of the problem. The problem is that you're we're assuming as men that you're not hearing us because the response that we expect to get from what we're saying we're not getting, and vice versa. You all are expecting a certain response from how you saying that you're feeling, and y'all are like, we're like, but we already doing that, so why do you feel like we not doing it? And if you are, and if you can't take what I'm doing right now is enough, then why should I do more? So you can tell me even then that that's still not enough. And so we're just both looking at each other like,
Yep,
I'm good.
you
I'm
first.
Yeah, like I'm good on you because
Yeah, that too, but yeah, you
now at
first.
this,
So when you do it,
yeah,
yeah.
because now at this point we're there's the pain is so bad. And again, I would say this, at the root of it, the desire is so bad that it's making the pain even worse. And
Yeah.
we just like,
I think we all desire a soft landing, but none of us desire to be the one to give it. It's like we have so much work to do
absolutely.
before we have so much work for someone else to do before we feel the threshold for soft has been met. You know what I mean? Okay, now I guess I'll be soft. Okay, now
Yep,
you can.
that's it.
And that one's hard. That one's hard to really wrap your brain around. Knowing how badly we all need the soft landing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Which goes back to the earlier post. Why the assumption about anything, even like that perfect post? Why the assumption is always like something presented good to us? It's got to be something bad to it. It's got to be something wrong with him because he can't be that good. And because if he was that good, somebody even posted he must be married.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, but you can tell me no single dude is gonna judge this right, and like, but that is the experience and the pain that comes with our culture right now. Like, I'm in that much pain, and then like to your point, like when we do find somebody like that, we beat them down,
Yeah. Yeah.
men and women. We beat them down so badly that they like, you know what? I was trying. I was giving forehead kisses and holding hands, but you
And
know
I'm
what?
cool now.
I'm
Yeah.
good on you. I'm
Hmm.
not doing that no more. So I'm what do you say?
Yeah.
Back to the streets I go.
Yeah. Happily. I ain't even tripping about it, and for a while, it's one
Yeah,
of those things because it's hard and it's watching it,
it's
but
hard.
also engaging in having to just have um regular old conversations. Like it's hard to have non-relationship related conversations where just men and women have to
Can't do it.
exchange thoughts.
You
Like
can't do
we are in
it.
a very combative space right now.
Hey,
And I
listen. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're fine. No.
It's even here's what's even worse. We can't even be friends at this point because the assumption is you want something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you want something, you're gonna do something, you're not trustworthy. You and my like I don't want nothing from like I literally had somebody ask me, I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying good job on
Yeah.
something that you like. We can't even do that to the point where, to a point so where we can at least just have common good relationships across gender lines. We can't do that anymore. That's how bad it has gotten, unfortunately.
I wonder the leveling that it'll take to bring us. I watch a lot of sci-fi. I watch a lot of the next world, the new world type movies where there's always something catastrophic that happens that has to bring, all the people together. The Independence type day movies where, the world could be warring and all of a sudden we've got a shared interest that somehow unites everyone. And I I I'm not at all prophesying or hoping for something catastrophic like that to happen. But the fracture that we see and the way that it's worked in every little bit of everything that we do, our businesses, our communities, our churches, our relationships, like every little aspect, our collaborate, our ability to mentor the young, how much information we're losing from generation to generation because we don't have any understanding of the differences, what took place in the gap. Like we don't, there's nothing being shared, and it's affecting us so deep, us brown folks, so deeply. And the ramifications of this is going to ripple so much further than you and I will ever even be able to see. Like this is changing long after us. So I am in no way, like I said, hoping for something deep and crazy like that. But history ain't no punk. And if you read back and if you see it, I'm not talking movies, I'm talking history. The things that often reunite, that motivate the type of needed resets that we have, I don't know if we're prepared like to withstand that. I don't know if we would be the ones left. Like I don't know if we have the mental strength and fortitude, if we're physically able to, if we focused enough and trained our brains enough. our beings enough to be prepared to bounce back from something like that. Like that's what I'm wondering when we have such big, long, drawn out debates that we have over such simple things. You know what I mean? Such basic things that should be easily dealt with if just woosah through a little bit. And I wonder if someone's when it really hits the fan. Wow.
Be able to withstand it.
Wow. And is that what it's going to take for us to be like, okay, y'all, wait a minute. That cannot happen again. You know, and who's going to be left to do that?
Right.
What would we have lost to gain that realization when we've been sitting, you know, not we, but like there are people who have been as a whole, right, saying, hey, y'all, wait, y'all, but hey, like, do we gotta do it that way? Like, do you see? No.
Yep.
No, I feel like the dude doing the shit in the TikToks, like all good sense. We've been like, nope, maturity, nope. Like really, like we just not at all worried about it. And I'm just that has been I call it my hippie hoodoo spiritual meditative self. But I've like lived that is one of the things that I've been really, really reflecting on. Like, what is it gonna take? What is it really gonna take? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as you think historically, what was the last thing that really brought us together?
9/11.
Well, that's as a country, yes.
Oh, us?
Yes.
What was that? Civil War? But even then, I mean, the civil rights movement,
Dr.
the civil
King?
rights back then, we were trying. That's the most collective I think we could have been.
Dr.
But that
King?
wasn't
Well,
all the way.
I would say the assassination of Dr. King.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's yeah. And we would not be prepared for that to happen right now. We think we could shoot everything and it's just gonna go away.
Yeah.
So like we're not prepared.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. Yeah, I think we gotta think about that. But yeah, I think we need to really start thinking through back to my earlier statement, why? Like even with why do I identify with this? Why don't I identify with this? Why do I, again, I've asked myself, like, what is it about this particular band that I'm just like, because again, to your point, the stuff that I listen to with like the stuff that went viral, I'm like, let me listen to this whole segments before I make an opinion about this. Like this last one was the leftover thing. When he said, that you're leftover, I'm like, let me listen to this whole part because I got it. Let's just get into it. And when I heard
it can't be what I think it
and
is.
when I heard it, I was like, dang, he really called her that. But then I had to say, now he said that, but listen to the context of what he said and the context of what he's like. He was using an analogy. And I was like, I probably wouldn't have used that analogy, but his point was valid. Like, that's a valid point. Not that she's a leftover, but, and then he used, I don't know if I told you, did I say about the goodwill?
No, you would probably limited all conversation about this man across the board. So no, we have not talked about the goodwill.
My grandma was like, child, let me tell you. So my lady's 52 years old. 52, no children. And he used the analogy. He said, she was saying that 52, never been married. And she was saying basically that she can't find men because the men can't hold her attention because they don't like intellectual conversation. He's like, we're not your entertainment. Like, we're not here to entertain you. So a man's not here, just because he can't talk about some of the stuff you want to talk about doesn't mean he's not a good man. And so basically what he was telling her was, what you're asking for is not within the realm of the type of men who would want to be with you, because a man who dates a 52-year-old woman is going to on average look like this financially.
Mm-hmm.
She made like well in the six figures. He was like, yes, that's not what most black men make. They make this. And so
Mm-hmm.
what he said was, if you walked into a store and all of the shoes were $60 and there was a pair that was on sale, or excuse me, a pair that was there for $6,000, would you buy them? And she said, no, not unless there was something really special about the shoe. Da, da, da. He was like, exactly. You're asking
Mm-hmm.
for us to pay $6,000 when everything else in the store is $60. So I'm not going to buy the $6,000 pair of shoe when there's nothing special about it, when all of the others are 60. And she was like,
Saying she was the
he was
$60
saying
shoe,
she's really
being a
should be
52-year-old woman,
should
or you
be.
fit in with it.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You might have lost me with the shoes. So, like, is she the $60 shoe versus 6,000 shoe, or he's saying you're dealing with $62 shoe men, and you're asking for $6,000
Both.
services from a $62 shoe, comfort
Both.
from a $62 shoe.
Both.
Mm.
He was
So you're
saying
both
these men.
$62 shoes. Get comfortable.
He's saying
Okay.
you're a $60 shoe. You should accept 60 people who buy $60 shoes.
Oh, okay.
Don't quit saying you're a $6,000 shoe when that's what and then she was like, well, I don't think that's what I am. And so that's when he gets into, ma'am, you are a woman over 35. He said a woman over 35, using the shoe analogy, he said should be like the shoe that after it's been on the shelf for a while should be 20% off. He said when she gets to 45, it should be 50% off. He said, and you're 52, you should be in the Goodwill.
You know what kills me
I
about
was
this?
like,
is like, this is information that is shared. If we can say in one breath that there is just a small amount of men that even qualify to have this level of taste, why are we sharing this information to the men that do not qualify? As if this is the standards that they move in. I think that might be like, if this was a special place that you had to sign up for after being vetted and qualified, and like this was content exclusive that people were signing up for and putting money into, like those folks get it and come back and and that work, whatever. But the fact that you use basic ass YouTube
that's what
all access to everybody, knowing good and knowing that you're tapping into a space of people that you're going to have to flip around and equally create this feeling of less than in. Because if we're going to go with the fact that he leveled everybody on the same playing field, then like your whole platform is then built to give advice to people not equipped to carry through with said advice. So like the fact that we can't see through that, like if you're only just listening to what's being said, there's this many people that qualify for this advice, but I'm going to share with all of these people and say, go forth and do these things, regardless of said qualifications, and just sit back and watch it all. But we want to go back and forth about how this unqualified advice for us somehow should mesh.
I've been saying that.
So like we're arguing about these standards and expectations that we're not ready for. So like if it's truth, let it be truth. But then now why are we still paying attention to this truth that's not for us?
Why are those of us who are $60 shoes applauding because we ain't $6,000 shoes?
Yes.
I've been saying this the whole time.
What a way to affirm. Like this is affirmations overload. Like this is next level affirmations is happening right here. Manifestation mixed with affirmation. Like what is happening?
That's why I was like, woo, okay.
To
Wow.
the point it's making it so that we're not even the 60 and the 60s. We can't make a whole pair because we don't even like each other now.
I was like,
We just
what?
all in the good. We're just lonely as can be with single shoes in the lost and found bin. Somebody done kicked up. We the ones hanging over the light poles. Like folks just hang. We them solo hanging over the light. How did that shoe get up there? We got a bunch of randomly placed shoes throughout the hood. Like
Yeah.
we
I
just
was like, whoa, this, yeah. And that's why I was like, whoa, okay.
yeah. We got to yeah. The effects will ripple for a while.
Yeah.
For a while.
I think we've got, yeah. Oh, yeah. A long time. We'll stay in business, though.
I hope. I mean, will we? Like, we ain't. No, I'm playing. I mean, we ain't going nowhere. But I think it's because we know what our goal is. We could have been we could have been them a long time ago. Like our fans, our a good amount of the people who were engaging with our content at the time stopped engaging with us because we didn't go that. So like we've taken some L's for staying true to where we are. Like
Mm-hmm.
flat out. So like you're right. Well, I mean, we'll be okay.
Yeah,
But
we'll be fine.
yeah.
I'm just, and I say that to say, I say that because at the end of the day, the goal is to help people become whole and healthy. Because again, a whole and healthy you puts you in position to have a whole and healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And
Which creates a
so,
whole and healthy family,
yeah, a
which creates
whole
a
and
better
healthy
community.
community. So that's the goal. And so even this conversation is designed to make a whole healthy you.
Yep. Yep.
And you can point out again, you can point out, like, I think if we want to talk about again standards and all that stuff, we can talk about all of that. But at the end of the day, your standards are something that you create. There's something that you create that no one else can give you. Nobody else can give you. And until you know who you are, I guess these are my final thoughts too. Until you know who you are, and nobody else can teach you that. Nobody else can tell you. Nobody else can infuse that to you. But until you do the hard work to figure out who you are, walk through this journey, have people who will prod and push and still be a safe place for you to walk through that process. Until you go through all of that, you're never gonna have standards. You're never gonna have them. So,
Those experiences help you
yeah.
identify them.
Yep, absolutely. Final thoughts.
I think what I was saying a little bit ago about our need for preparation is probably what's the biggest on my heart right now, on my mind. Seeing that how quickly and um, how much things like this can consume our community, and how quickly it can consume our community's focus has really, really made me think about what's coming. You know what I mean? Like we always say when something shows up in the news and we're like, wait, slow news week, or like, why is this news? You know, what are they hiding in the background? Like what's happening different? And I don't know if we really need to be paying attention. We need to be prepared. All of these posts and these hashtags and this commentary and this energy that we give out here, we have to start really focusing our energy. It matters more than I think we recognize because we're seeing it in little pockets. But it would not be such a focus to manipulate our specific energy if it wasn't powerful. If our brain power, our collaborative efforts, if our family structure, if our love, if our businesses, if our power and our money and how we move as a people was not so amazing and so impactful, there would not be such an effort
We wouldn't
to
keep going.
manipulate it and
Yep.
disperse it so
Yep.
that it could not be focused.
Absolutely.
When we really tune in to the why it's being so funded and made room for the division of us, and for so long, and why it's so apparent and so high, folks be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, everybody just gets real dumb and deaf when it comes to the division of us. There's a reason for that, but we have got to see through that and start to piece that back together.
Yep.
But I think that is my final thoughts. Like, start looking at that why. Start digging into that why. Every aspect of our life, aside from our entertainment and the fun, and even that is started to be remixed.
Our question of that too.
Yeah, there is a real reason for that.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. There is a reason for it. If they could keep you down,
I just don't want to give them another one. I ain't trying to be another reason.
if they could keep us divided, they know that we ain't gonna.
Yeah.
They know they can win. But the moment we decide we gonna step into who we are, game over.
Where soft can become safe with us again.
Game over. Yep. Game over.
Mm-hmm.
Good show. Good show.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I think it's.
I'm glad we had this combo.
When it's all said and done, that's my last thing. Is when it's all said and done, I want my impact to be that I tried to make us better.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Now, I ain't going nowhere no time soon, but he tried to make us better.
This is the route. Every step.
He tried to make us better.
Mm-hmm.
In any way he could, he tried to make us better. So I'm good with that. So rest well, young brother.
Mm-hmm.
Condolences to his family, all that good stuff. So good show tonight. Good show tonight. We'll be back next week. Again, if y'all have not subscribed to us on SoundCloud, do it. The Scoop Show on SoundCloud. If you haven't followed us on social media, do that. Make sure y'all hit that share button. And we'll be back next week.
Yes, sir. Have a good week.
And pull it together, baby.